Hello and welcome back to the We Are Gamers YouTube channel. It is our Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires Let's Play. I will be doing this series similar to how I did Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires. This will be a tutorial. We've got a lot of great other YouTubers out there that are giving you gameplay content, so I wanted to do something different and just sort of show you guys the nuances of the game, sort of how to progress through the game and how to really get the most out of it. So I'll be doing Gathering of Heroes as usual. I'll crank the difficulty up to hard, so it'll be a little bit challenging. And yeah, well, let's just get into it. Right now I'm showcasing the bonus point system. So similar to last year's, you had your bonus points to unlock things. This year you get bonus points to unlock things as well. I want to make sure I'm not replacing any famous officers, just in case I can luck up and get the trophy for defeating all famous officers with my custom unit. Now, I'm not going to be using my normal custom unit this time, Zhang Yi. I'm going to be using Tae Mu, who is actually a villain from a K-drama that my wife and god sisters were watching, and I forget the name of it at the time, but I was actually kind of into it too. I want to say it was Rooftop Prince, but I'm not entirely sure. No, it wasn't Rooftop Prince. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So, I'm picking an area for my Gathering of Heroes, and I'm going to pick Zhongling, and I'm picking Zhongling because it is connected to the most provinces. And especially if you're starting off as a free officer, you want to make sure you have a lot of connected options to you so you can accept more quests, which is actually what this first video will be going over. I'll be going over the basics of being a free officer and questing. And so begins the legend of Tae Mu. Now I'll be doing this playthrough as evil as humanly possible, just so we can also showcase the virtue system as well and the consequences and benefits of that. Alright, the game has officially started. It is January, it is snowing. That's going to play a part later on in the game. But for now, let's just go over what we are able to do as a free officer. We can serve someone, persuade someone to join us, or interact with someone. Now, the first and last option costs gold, which we don't have. We are dead broke. You can also draft troops. Troops work similarly to how they did in Dynasty Warriors 7 Empires. Practice increases your experience points to help you level up, and you can also heal. We'll go over healing a little bit later on. Now, you can also raise money. This is how you gain more materials and gain more money to progress throughout your playthrough. Battling, of course, you can join an ongoing battle, or you can go on a quest. Now, purchasing. As your kingdom grows, you can build facilities and purchase from them. Right now, it's very bare bones, so I'm not even going to showcase that. But let's see what happens when I try to persuade somebody. You'll notice as a free officer, I can persuade anyone to join me, whether they're already serving somebody or a free officer, but it costs resources, it costs gold, and you can also see a success rate in the top left on how successful my persuasion will be. Now what goes into that success rate: strength, comparative strength from you and the person you're persuading, the virtue, things like that. So if you are extremely evil trying to get someone extremely good to join you, it's not really going to work. You can also check to see what stratagems, items, and weapons you have currently available to you. Now, if you noticed our earlier video for Dynasty Warriors 8 Empires, Raiden showed you how to build your own armies, horses, etc. You can actually bring your own custom horse into battle with you. And you know what? I think I'm going to... Well, no, I didn't assign a horse to him. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. I won't give Tae Mu a custom horse or armor or army until he gets his own, until he's a prefect. And I'm going to show you how to climb up the ranks. We're not just going to start off as ruler. I'm going to show you all possible scenarios that you can get to before you're the ruler. Now, if we look at our stratagems here, these are just different stratagems. The large-scale stratagems will always have that sort of yellow circle with the X across it. Those are your large-scale stratagems. Once we get into raids, invasions, and defenses, I'll go over those as well. You can sort of read the descriptions of what each of these stratagems do. For your instant bases, I will say, read them very carefully. Sometimes they don't always damage units. So let's go on a quick quest, get our first battle under our belt, and see what's available to us after we take on a quest. Now, like I said, I want to be as evil as possible, so I'm probably going to look for some missions that have the virtue arrow pointing down. That will decrease my virtue. If you'll notice next to my level, you'll see a sort of whale face just chilling like, okay, whatever, I'm here. I'm arbitrary. Now, as I become more evil, it'll turn into an evil smiley face as opposed to the benevolent happy face. So I can do assassinations, I can rob a trader's house, or merchant's house, or I can raid a caravan. And you can see each quest gives you rewards, whether it's resources, weapons, experience. So make sure that when you're picking a quest, you pick one that suits your current needs. So right now I am looking for a quest that will give me a good amount of experience as well as a good weapon for me, because right now I only have my basic weapon and the basic sword. So I want a good weapon and I also want some good resources. So I think I am going to select, where is it? I saw somewhere they were offering the Zushu sword, and I know that goes well with what I'm compatible with. There we go. So I get 1,800 gold, which will let me recruit somebody, and I get a good sword out of it. Now, it's worth noting, the weapons you get from quests and the weapons you find in battle are better than the weapons you can get in the store. They're not as strong as those weapons, but they have more seals. Now, you notice on this, since we're doing a quest, all of the stratagems we had picked before are not available to us. You can only bring in personal modifier stratagems into quests. So right now you notice, there's my horse. Now the purpose of this mission, I'm supposed to sneak around, chop up the oxes, but whatever. I'm gonna be hard-headed and try to take out the merchants. This is why this is a bad idea, especially on these missions. They are now alerted to my presence. I have 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to rob the merchant and get out. Now that they're alerted to my presence, not only do I have to deal with them, the spot turrets are going to start attacking me when I get near them, those giant structures you'll see, and officers are going to start popping up out of the woodwork to deal with me, and they're all going to be in enraged status. This is going to make this a lot more difficult than it needs to be. Alright, I've got the goods. Let's just get out of here. Alright, now again, this is the 8 series, so the Heaven, Earth, and Man weapon system returns. That makes this a little more difficult than usual since the game takes full advantage of that. Now you notice I just used the Unity stratagem. You can use stratagems whenever you want. And this time around, you get to use them more than once. The green meter above my health represents my stratagem meter. That fills up continuously throughout the course of the stage or the battle. The fee, or the number on each stratagem lets me know how many of the gauge it will actually use. Unity, which heals myself and my friendly officers around me, costs 2. So you notice 2 stratagem bars just dropped. Now there's a cooldown time for each of these stratagems. All stratagems have a cooldown time except large scale stratagems. Once you use a large scale stratagem, it's over. You can't use it again. And I'm about to die. Let's crank that Unity again. See, I used it again after I just used it. Alright, it's 45 seconds, and she's got the War God's Axe. Let's get out of here. Now see, that's the fun thing about the robberies. Or I shouldn't say fun. That's the convenient thing about the robberies. You only have to defeat the gatekeeper to complete the mission. I was just getting greedy. Now you notice the mission's over, I have my reward, and my friendship with my client has gone up. And I have completed my first title. I have my title, I have my first way of life, and I have a new stratagem. I'll go over titles and way of life in a later video because in the beginning they really don't affect you. But I will say, acquiring new ways of life gives you access to more stratagems and more fixed stratagems, more political strategies. So now I'm going to try to persuade somebody to join me. I'm still broke, so I think I'm going to try to get Li Jue to join me. Now you'll notice all of the officer replacements that I've created, they have the way of life ordinary man. If you want to spice up your playthroughs or spice up your Empire's experience, go through the officer replacements that you feel are important and do a playthrough with them. Your way of life will stick with them and they will behave the way that you had them behave during that playthrough. So when I'm done with this playthrough, Temu will behave as an evil bastard. That's the goal here. So Li Jue has joined me, and I've now formed a vagabond unit. You notice I now have income, I have money coming in, I have troops coming in, I've got materials coming in. So we've got a little bit of everything. So that's what you're able to do as a free officer and as a vagabond unit. Now you can have up to 10 officers in your vagabond unit, but you're really limited in what you can do. You can form an alliance with another kingdom, but all that alliance gets you is the ability to defend them if territories adjacent to yours are being attacked, or join in if they're attacking a territory adjacent to yours. So I really don't see a benefit to an alliance other than just a possibility for more invasions or defenses. Now, I can also raise a banner, which I'm not going to do because I'm going to try to rise through the ranks. Now you'll notice here I'm trying to purchase something, but I can only purchase weapons for officers that I have recruited. And you'll notice the selection was very slim because they haven't really built up the facilities. Item shops will always sell those 5 basic items until you start building more item shops to bring in more commerce. And again, I'll go over those 2 specific things once I become a prefect. Now here you can see the virtue ratings and the friendship rating. To keep your vagabond unit together, you want to make sure that the friendship rating stays high and that the virtues aren't polar opposites. Because if they're polar opposites, you will be abandoned. I believe that's actually it for episode 1. We've covered, believe it or not, we've covered a lot in the beginning. And again, you can expect more of these videos. I'll try to get these out at least once a week. I'm not gonna show you the grind that I'm about to go through. I only show the milestones, and you'll notice there's the weapon I just got. Weaker than a normal 1-star weapon, but it has 4 seals. So yes, I'm going to rob some more people. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all of that. I'll only show you when something major happens or when something new happens, so I can go over the new stuff for the game. I hope you have enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we definitely hope to see you back next week. I think next week or the next episode, whether it's next week or if I decide to be generous and give it to you guys early, I think I'm going to go over the assassination quest line, only because that directly affects your current playthrough. The assassinations actually stick, so when you assassinate someone, they'd stay dead. So I'll go over what that means for the game and how that affects your virtue. And yeah, again, as always, we thank you guys for supporting us. We thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we hope to give you more Let's Plays like this and more podcasts that you enjoy, more writing. We just want to keep cranking out content that you guys consume and support and retweet, and it's great for us. We appreciate it. So as always, I'm the host, LJ90. You can find us on Twitter at We Are Gamers, Facebook, Tumblr, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.